Sleepy-eyed John. 2, 3.
The American Folklife Center was created by the United States Congress and located at the Library of Congress in 1976. The fact that the library had been collecting American folk song and folklore for 50 years persuaded the Congress to place the center there. The center celebrated its launching by staging a concert on the plaza in front of the library. The concert led to a successful 20-year series, opening most seasons with a bluegrass band like Laurie Lewis from Berkeley, California.
You better get your britches on. You better tie your shoe. You better get your britches on. Try to get the headboard and it's you.
The Archive of American Folk Song, founded in the library's music division in 1928, was the brainchild of Division Chief Carl Engel and the first head of the archive, folklorist Robert W. Gordon. Gordon's ambitious goal was to collect all American folk songs, which he described as a national project with many workers. Early collecting efforts in the United States were made possible by the invention of the Edison cylinder phonograph, which became available commercially in 1889. In 1890, Jesse Walter Fuchs made the first wax cylinder field recordings featuring songs and stories of the Passamaquoddy Indians in Maine. Minnesotan Francis Dinsmore continued the tradition of recording American Indians, including Mountain Chief of the Blackfoot tribe, shown here on a visit to Washington, D.C. in 1906. By the 1930s and 40s, a number of collectors were at work, including John Lomax and his son Alan Lomax, who recorded W.H. Stepp in Salyersville, Kentucky, playing this famous fiddle performance of Bonaparte's Retreat. Zora Neale Hurston documented African-American folk traditions in Florida, and Herbert Halpert recorded folk songs from rural Mississippi. The Folk Archive at the Library of Congress became a safe haven for this documentary material, and the American Folklife Center, which incorporated the archive in 1978, continues to acquire, preserve, and catalog grassroots cultural traditions, expanding this great national collection and making it available to researchers from this country and around the world. Alan Jabour became the first director of the American Folklife Center, coming to the position from his own work as a folklorist and collector of fiddle tunes. The legislation creating the center provides for a board of trustees appointed by Congress and the President, and includes the instruction to preserve and present American folklife. The center has carried out that mandate with field documentation projects in every region of the country. The number of items in the archive has increased from 500,000 in 1976 to over 1.5 million today, including thousands of hours of sound recordings and hundreds of thousands of photographs that document a cornucopia of everyday traditions. Foodways along the Blue Ridge Parkway in Virginia and North Carolina, storytelling in southern Georgia, sweetgrass basketry in South Carolina, occupational folklore in Paterson, New Jersey, the American Indian powwow in Macy, Nebraska, and elsewhere, a winery in Gilroy, California, and ranch life and work in Paradise Valley, Nevada. Not only does the center engage in its own documentation projects, but it facilitates the work of others through a loan program that provides recording equipment to researchers from around the country in support of work in their home states and regions. The center continues to receive material from donors who wish to contribute collections from the past or documentary material from the present day, from both the United States and abroad. In 1986, for example, the center received the Fondstock South Sea Collection, which included film footage of music and dance from Bali just before World War II. The American Folklife Center takes seriously its mandate to present American folklife, which it has done through exhibitions, workshops, lectures, concerts, a publication program that includes books, a quarterly newsletter, and published recordings from the archive, and scholarly conferences such as the 1983 Washington Meeting on Folk Art. For the past several years, the Center has been deeply committed to making its resources available online. The Center's website features a variety of publications and other information, and the Center participates actively in the library's National Digital Library program, which scans entire collections and makes them available over the internet. To date, the Center has put online the California Folk Music Collection, assembled by Sidney Robertson Cowell for the WPA in the 1930s, and Voices from the Dust Bowl, assembled by Charles Todd and Robert Sonkin for the Farm Security Administration in the same era. The remarkable new technology allows the Center to share these national treasures with a whole new audience and provides a grand way for presenting multi-format collections. A researcher can view photographs of the King family band at an FSA farm workers community in Visalia, California in 1940 while listening to them play. In 1996, the American Folklife Center celebrated its 20th anniversary, and this year the Folk Archive celebrates its 70th. The staff and board of trustees of the Center are already making plans to meet the challenges of the coming century as the Center continues to play its part in the cultural work of America and the world, fulfilling its congressional mandate to preserve and present American folklife.